Speaking of that guy, he's a former star lineman at Karr. He's in his 10th season at his alma mater as head coach, served as an assistant previously, played at Grambling back in the day after his playing days with the Cougars, and he guided them to 4 consecutive state championships at Karr from 2016 to 19, and to state title game appearances in 2015 and 2020. Of course, he and Karr were recognized and received critical acclaim for the documentary on Hulu, Algiers, America. It was something that I was very honored to be part of. And his team remains undefeated right now, both overall and in district play. They're ranked #1 in the state in our Crescent City Sports statewide rankings, ditto in the Sports Writers. And they will host John Curtis Christian Friday night at 7 p.m. at Morris Jeff Stadium. Please give a warm welcome to our friend, the legend, Brice Brown. Brice.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. T. Thank you to the New Orleans Quarterback Club. We briefed today just to speak on how tough this district is that we play in. It takes a lot of consistency, but I think who does not get a lot of the credit is the players, right? Because each week they are facing different schemes, different leverages, different game plans. Every week it takes a lot to erase what you just did and then have the expectation to do it again. And I think that's been our message this year is how do you manage expectations so you can perform, so you can reach a positive outcome. We cannot look at the outcome first. We can't say, okay, we're gonna win a district title, we're gonna win a state title without having the expectation first of doing so. So even in our jobs as coaches, we expect to be the best coaches that the district has to offer. We expect to win. We expect good GPAs. We expect good ACT scores. But how do we perform? How do we manage our performance? And that takes consistency. Consistency both in the classroom, consistency also on the field. Then we can talk about how we gain a positive or negative outcome based off of what we expected and how we perform. And I think players and student athletes, especially in high school, don't get enough credit because they aren't getting paid to play football. Their expectation from their family and from their coaches is to, when they enter the building, is to be a student athlete first. The expectation is, yes, you want to win football games, but do you expect a good student before you expect a good athlete? And that ties into performance. And that leads to positive outcome. What is our positive outcome that we've reached with this? It's playing on a Saturday. If we play on a Friday, and Saturday morning when we wake up, we have 30 guys playing on a Saturday. The expectation could be clearly, look, we have great athletes, they're gonna play football. But how do you get to that outcome? You get to that outcome by first being a student athlete with a 34 in the ACT. His expectation is to perform both in the classroom and on the field, which leads to a positive outcome. How do we consistently get this in the minds of our students, no matter the race, no matter if it's public or private or parochial? How do we get them to think consistently based off of their discipline on their expectations? It's easy to say, I want to go to the NFL, I want to go to the NBA, but are we expecting them to be good citizens in the world? And that leads to us as coaches to make sure that they're disciplined and dedicated and determined to reach that performance each and every day so we can create a positive outcome. And I think the players don't get enough credit for what they have done in the last 2.5 years in this district that we are in, because odds are stacked against them, because we get out of school sometimes 4:15, right? So how do we manage those expectations and still perform so we can create a positive outcome? It comes with consistency, not only from the coach, but the player. The player drives great programs. The player creates positive outcomes, creates Brice Brown. The players create the brand of Karr football. the student athlete creates the brand of Edna Karr High School. So I think if all coaches manage this expectation based off of performance to create a positive outcome, this can spread throughout our city to take away crime, to take away juvenile detention. How do we manage that? That expectation is based off of our performance as coaches. But I'm not gonna spill too much on you. I could talk about this kind of stuff all day, but that's the kind of things that I think our city has to offer. It does offer great student athletes and great high school football, but it creates something bigger than the sport of football. It creates leadership. It creates the future of our city, the city leaders who we're gonna one day depend on to lead us, right? So I think that's the main thing that the players don't deserve. They deserve more credit than, especially me standing here before you today, they deserve the credit for listening and not pretending to listen, all right? Thank you.